Hey everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how you can add a minimap to your Roblox game. You can configure what you want to show on the minimap, and it even comes with a little arrow to show in what direction you're currently looking. So let's get started. So first we need to actually define what we want to show up on our minimap. So let's go over to workspace and let's insert a folder. We're going to rename this folder to minimap. Make sure to spell it exactly like this or the code won't be able to find it. Now anything we put inside of this folder is actually going to show up here. So I already have this pretty basic scene set up with some parts. So let's drag these parts into the folder that we just created. We can also drag the base plate into this folder so it shows up too. So now let's actually design our minimap. Let's go over to Starter GUI and let's insert a screen GUI. We're going to be inserting a viewport frame into the screen GUI. Now what a viewport frame does is it allows you to render a set of parts on top of the actual game. So in this case, we're going to be rendering the map viewed from the top and pretty much putting that as a little frame on the top of the real game. We can make the viewport frame a bit bigger by dragging the corner, and let's move it to the middle of the screen, like this. Now we can add a UI corner in order to give it rounded corners. So let's go to Insert and let's search for UI corner. We can change the corner radius offset to 0, and let's change the scale to 0.1, like this. Now we need to actually add the arrow in the middle of the viewport frame. So let's insert an image label into the viewport frame. We can again change the size by dragging the corner, and we need to actually put it in the center. So search for anchor point in the properties and set this to 0.5, 0.5. And now if we search for position, we can set this to 0.5, 0, 0.5, 0 to exactly center it. Now I already made an arrow icon for you guys to use, but you can use whatever you want. In order to change it, search for image, and right here you can delete this and paste this code. This is completely free to use. So let's click enter, and now it should update. However, you won't be able to see it due to the arrow being white and the viewport frame being white too. Now we need to disable the background of our image label. So search for background transparency and let's set this to 1, like this. Now let's actually program it. So let's insert a local script into the screen GUI. First, let's make a variable for the run service. So local run service equals game get service run service. Now let's make some variables for the player. So local player equals game.players.localPlayer. And now let's make a variable for the character. So local character equals player.character. And in case the character of the player does not exist yet, we need to wait until it's added. So or player.character added wait. Now we can also make a variable for the root part of our character. So local root parts equals character wait for child humanoid root parts. Now let's make some variables for our viewport frame. So local viewports equals script.parent.viewport frame. And now for the arrow, local arrow equals viewports.image label. Now we can also make a variable for our camera that we're going to create. This is the camera that will render the second part of the game, so the minimap itself. So local camera equals instance.new camera and camera.parents equals workspace. Now we can change a few properties of this camera so it looks better on our map. So camera.cameraType equals enum.cameraType.scriptable. This means you can use some code in order to change the properties of the camera. So viewport.currentCamera equals camera. So we're taking the viewport and saying you need to listen to this camera that we just created, which will actually render all of the map on the top of the screen. So now we need to actually put any part that we want to show on our minimap inside of this viewport frame. So we're going to loop over all the parts inside of this folder and put them inside of this frame. So for I, parts in pairs game.workspace.minimap get descendants do And now we're going to check if it's a base part. So if parts is a base part, then local objects equals parts clone and object.parents equals view parts. So we're looping over every part, checking if it's an actual base part, and if it is, we're cloning it and putting it inside of the view parts. Now we need to update our map, so in case the player moves, the map moves accordingly. So we can use run service for this. So run service dot render steps connects function. And now we can change the position of our new camera that we created. So camera dot cframe equals cframe dot new. And we're going to change the position to the position of our character. So root parts dot position plus vector3 dot new 0, 3000, 0. Now why do we add this new vector3? Well, we actually have our new camera and it's going to be positioned all the way up into the sky, looking down at our character. So we need to actually move it up 3000 studs and then make it look down. We can make it look in a certain direction with the second argument. So comma root parts dot position. So it's taking the position of the root parts, going all the way up into the sky and then looking down at our character again. Now this will show some pretty weird results due to our field of view. Field of view describes how much you can actually see, so how wide your vision is. So we need to actually make this very low in order to make it look flat. So we can go behind this camera right here and let's say camera dot field of view equals 1. So let's make it very small. Now we actually need to move the arrow too, so it faces the direction that our character is facing. So arrow dot rotation equals minus root parts dot orientation dot y minus 90, like this. Also, I just want to quickly mention, you can find all of the scripts of my tutorials in my Discord server, and if you wish to download the project files, these are available on my Patreon. So now we can actually close the script with a little close icon here. Let's go for to play to test it out. Let it load. And as you can see, our minimap works. You can change the size of our arrow if you want. So let's go to close it. Open it up, go to the image label, and here we can change the size to something like, let's say 25 and 25. And now if we test it again, that already looks a lot better. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one.